Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Anime Podcasters. Before we get started, there are numerous conversations that are in this episode that discuss adult content and adult themes, be it from violence to gun use, and we are talking about blacklisted anime. That means it is taboo in other areas of the world, and we go into reasoning why and our thoughts on it. So please, viewer discretion advised, this is an adult topic conversation. Thank you.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Anime Podcasters. Today, in this episode, we're going to be looking at a big giant list of blacklisted animes with their co-hosts, myself, Murel, JaianMusic, and Hotshot. How are you guys?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty well.
I'm doing good. Murel, was that your first time doing the intro, actually, the more I think about it?
No, I've actually done it a few other times. Wow, was that pretty good?
Yeah, no, you're good.
It was good, man.
You're good.
It was good stuff. I approve that intro, and I will not edit it out because it's the only intro we have.
See, JaianMusic approved, so you're fine.
Yay.
Yeah, true.
Hey. I'm going to throw some EQ, some compression. Make sure it sounds good. But no, you did great, bro.
No, thank you.
This episode, I'm so excited for. We're going to be going through some blacklisted animes. We got an article from CBR.com. We'll be going through 15 animes. Well, not all 15 of them, but there's 15 on this list. It's an article that came out in March 2022. March 23rd, 2022 to be precise. But before we get into that, there's going to be a new way for you guys to choose what we talk about. So, Hotshot, for the next episode, how is the topic exactly going to formulate? How can fans influence that? Let us know about that.
So, guys, by the time of you listening to this episode, wherever it may be, we should have a poll up on our Twitter page for 4 topics that each of us have chosen, JaianMusic, Murel, myself, and GoProKyo. And we should be having a poll on there for you guys to vote on the next topic. Now, keep in mind, polls are only up for about 7 days on Twitter. So there are 7 days to get your vote in, and this way we actually have your guys' input on what content that you guys want to see from us. We do come up with the core concept, but at least we give you guys a choice, so you do have a voice in the matter. So if you guys are listening to this video the day of, or the week of even, go ahead over to our Twitter page and pop in your vote.
Exactly, which is at Anime Podcasters. All right, let's get straight into this. 15 animes that are actually banned in China. Okay. There's so many here that I want to go through. Some I've seen, some I haven't seen. We're just going to kind of jump through them and give our thoughts on the animes themselves. The first one that stuck out to me, My Hero Academia. Banned because of a controversial character named after a war crime. You know, okay, but what are your thoughts on just the idea of My Hero Academia being banned for such a reason?
I mean, I guess it makes sense because there are some things that exist and that have happened that even mentioning the name out loud to other people, you immediately get shot down or shunned for. So if it's a high-level media high-level media product that is put out, like My Hero reaches around worldwide, so there's bound to be people in power that get offended by some things, or a war crime that just reminds people of a horrific accident or horrific event and things like that. I can see why, but at the same time, they could have also gotten around it by just like redubbing the guy's name or something. Like, just change the one character's name and the rest of the show doesn't have a problem.
Exactly, because I feel like if it wasn't for that, I don't see this one being banned because it's like, what, it's 13 and up. Do you think that would be the case, Murel? Let's say that character's name was not there anymore and was changed. Do you think this would still be on a blacklist?
I would say that, because of what I know of Hero Academia, right, that if they do change the name and stuff like that, it will be unbanned because it's a show with one character being a war crime name, and that's the only reason. Right? Like, if there were multiple reasons why it was on the blacklist, then yeah, I would say just leave it as it is, right? But because it's only one thing, and the name can be changed, right? A name can be changed. Mm-hmm. All it does is it takes one writer to change their name, or to change of how, like, it could even be spelt the same, but like basically they could like say, like, let's just say a few letters can be silent, right? So then it's a totally different pronunciation, correct?
I mean, I think the idea would be just to change the name itself, you know?
Or that.
It's just a name change, you know? It's as simple as that in my mind. I did want to jump to another one, though. Okay. Hotshot, I know you've only seen the first season of this one, but, I mean, this is one where I kind of get it, but at the same time, I love this anime so much. Attack on Titan, too violent and filled with gore. You've seen the first season. It's pretty gory. I think it's fair to say. What are your thoughts since this anime is rated R and there's extreme violence in it? Almost every episode, you know.
I mean, you get the warning ahead of time. Like, this is not a nice anime. Like, even if you just see the first episode or read the disclaimer, for instance, before it is not a nice time. Like, and
right,
it is incredibly violent because yes, these are colossal beings eating other people. And the only way to take them out is by cutting the nape of their neck. But in order to get there, you have to cut them everywhere else. It's insanely bloody, insanely violent. I can see why it is blacklisted in certain areas, but it gives you like every warning in advance. Like, this is not for the faint of heart.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't that one of the reasons why you personally stopped watching it? Now that I think
no,
about it?
God, no. I'm a gorehound.
No, but I feel like you said like there was too much darkness or something of that. You know what I mean? Because you were saying like you enjoy slice of life way more, and it's kind of a dark anime. You know what I mean?
I enjoy slice of life and I enjoy comedic things more. Yes, but I am an absolute gorehound. Like, I love playing Mortal Kombat. I love playing Doom. I love. This is going to be bad to say, violence in my shows and games. The reason I stopped watching Attack on Titan was because it was, for me at least, getting kind of political. Like the humans' views versus the Titans' views, like who's in the right, who's in the wrong. I was mainly there for the action and for the characters.
Okay.
I didn't really care about the logistics of the world, if I'm being totally honest.
Right. Okay, fair enough. And what about you, Murel? What are your thoughts on just the fact that this anime is banned and blacklisted?
Well, there's some, like one for the amount of gore that's inside it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like of how they have to cut them all over. They have to dissect basically the body while they're tearing down and killing other people, right? Like making incisions in their legs and their necks, mouths, whatever, right? And I can see why either one country or a lot of other countries have basically just banned it because of the high use of killing.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I see what you mean. I mean, for me, I'm just excited for the next season of this anime. It's one of those very popular ones that came out in 2010s, and it's still going strong in the 2020s. But just to tie it all up, I swear, I feel like the biggest milked cow in anime ever is the final season of Attack on Titan. They have final season, part 1, 2, and now we're going to final season, the final part. Like,
well, yeah, that's why whenever I hear final in anime, I'm like, this is gonna last another 3 years.
This is just like the final Flash when Vegeta shoots Cell, you know? Like, it's not the final Flash, you know? It's just gonna regrow another season. It's gonna regenerate another season.
Like, it would have earned that name if Vegeta actually fired it at other enemies and vaporized them, but at the same time, most of Vegeta's other attacks would have done the same thing.
That is true. There are a few others as well that I would like to touch on, which is High School DxD and also High School of the Dead, because they were both banned for one, lewd content, but also overly sexual content as well.
So I've seen High School of the Dead. I totally understand the over sexual content in there. It's all about it's filled with that kind of stuff. I feel like this is definitely Hotshot's area to give his opinion though, because he basks in this kind of in these kind
of what I know about Hotshot. Yes, yeah.
I mean, I completely understand why. Like DxD is more so lewd than it is violent or anything. So if it got in trouble for anything, it would be the lewdness of it. But we live kind of in a society where if you're watching a totally mundane show and like someone like lifts up their shirt too much or like there's a nip slip of any variety, even if it's accidental, it immediately gets bumped up to R18. So for DxD especially to be like that overly sexual with the characters, I mean, Isuke on his own is just like he is called the harem king. That is his dream, is to be the harem king. So for being banned for lewdness, I can understand there. For High School of the Dead, it's banned for overly sexualized content as well as the violence because it is a zombie apocalypse. So there are heads exploding, there are zombie attacks, there are other horrific things that are happening to the main characters, like among the survivors. Basically, the world's at war, I can do what I want, and it goes to horrifically dark places. So seeing High School of the Dead is banned in probably numerous places does not surprise me at all.
It does say that the Chinese Ministry of Culture did ban this because of overly sexual content, because they named it as borderline pornographic,
and it really kind of is. I mean, there's even one part where two of the characters actually do sleep together. It doesn't show you anything, but
it's implied.
But it's implied and heavily done so.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like when it comes to sexual themes, those are really the two on this list that kind of have that reason for the ban and the blacklist. I feel like I'm saying ban and blacklist. Those two mean the same thing. I'm just going to say the blacklist. I kind of wanted to jump to another one unless you guys had anything else to add on those two. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory.
I didn't have anything on those two because, it seems kind of cut and dry with those. Like,
right. Okay, so one that I always seem to have to talk about, even though I told myself like I'm never gonna finish this because it got like it's never finished. It just got dropped like that. It got discontinued. Dead Man Wonderland contains disturbing and alarming content. Dead Man Wonderland is another anime that was given an R rating and banned in China. This series follows the story of Gata Igarashi and his classmates as they go to a prison amusement park where the convicts perform dangerous acts for the onlookers' amusement. So, I mean, this anime is very much known for the gore and violence and the graphic scenes that come with it. What are your thoughts on this one being banned?
I love Dead Man Wonderland. Like I said, it is a gorehound, and it is one of those ones that I have watched to what exists of it. I would say completion, but since it got canceled, that's not a thing. But I can understand because when you think about it, our main character is a high school student who got arrested and is put in a life or death carnival prison. It's like hearing all of that, like it's no wonder that it got banned at least in one part of the world, if not several parts of the world. And and just like with High School of the Dead, there are numerous disturbing scenarios, we'll say, that come up in the show. But at the same time, it gives you like first 3 minutes of the show, and the fact that it is a heavily R-rated show, it gives you the warning well in advance. Like that.
Of course, as it should.
That's my belief. Like if it gives you the implication like this is going to be brutal, and gives you the rating, like that's why the rating system exists, because of how graphic and how bad it can be.
Right. Murel, have you ever seen this show?
I haven't, but I'll probably will, because I do like disturbing animes. So
we gotta talk, Murel.
Yeah, we do.
That's something to have a conversation about.
Yeah, maybe with a therapist.
Yeah, it's not me, but somebody will help you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I mean that's just my belief. As long as the warning is well in advance, like people should say like, or restrict it, not just outright ban it. Because it's like if you can't handle it, that's kind of your own personal problem.
Oh, I will be able to handle this.
No, I don't mean you, Murel. I mean like people in general.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of these get blacklisted because someone got offended in some way.
So the next one I want to talk about, I got two. Okay, I want to start with this one. Elfen Lied. This anime I watched 2 years ago. It's a psychological horror and supernatural anime. It has the article describes it, and I think this one is rivals Blood Sea in terms of just extreme violence and gore and super graphic content. It was just another one of those, how can I say, experiments gone wrong, I guess. I mean, we start the first episode with Mew, and it's just an absolute slaughter, and oh man, this anime is full of bloodshed. What do you guys think of, or have either of you guys seen this anime?
I've
No,
seen, I think,
haven't.
the first 3 episodes, and that's about it.
Okay. All right, give me a quick synopsis and thoughts on it being on the blacklist, in that case, Hotshot, and then we'll hop to another one.
I mean, it makes sense because we just went over Attack on Titan 2. It's blacklisted for a lot of the same reasons because of how bloody and gory it can be. But it's also depicting delinquency. So, like, kids committing crimes and standing up against the government kind of thing. And from what I saw, the government did the experimentation on Lucy wrongfully and standing up to a corrupt system. Like, I don't see a problem with that because there's several hundred storylines that are the exact same way.
Right.
So,
I see what you mean.
like, I can understand it getting banned for the violence because a lot of shows are like that, unfortunately. But for the standing up to the higher power thing, that's kind of what does it. And as far as delinquency goes, there are a lot of shows and a lot of, like, even shows here that or here in the States, that delinquents or kids or gang members or anything like that exist, and they're well under the age of 18, and they're still committing crimes, or they're like the corner point of the story, like it's their story turned to crime and turning back, so on and so forth. So
Right.
we see it pushed to another level in the Elfenlied from what I saw, but it's still a thing everywhere else, and it's just fine, and that makes no sense to me.
I see what you mean. The other one I want to, unless Murel, did you want anything to add? Did you want to add anything to that?
No, not really, because I've not seen the anime, but it definitely sounds
Fair
like
enough.
another one I will watch, because
Murel's just like, this is a recommendations episode.
yeah,
kinda
this is
is
my
at this point.
recommendation episode. I just know that my
Back to back.
I just
Guys, let me call up AirCR real quick. I'm kidding.
oh god, again, you should have told me this beforehand.
There is one that I want to bring up just because the reasoning doesn't make it. It makes the least amount of sense to me, at least. Sword Art, or according to the article, Sword Art Online 2 contains the use of guns and offensive materials. Like 90% of media that exists in the well-known world.
Right. That's one that I was kind of. It's like, I feel like it's on, in terms of ratings, it can't be any higher than. It's got to be on the same level as My Hero, right?
I mean, yeah, because like Sword Art 2 is for Gun Gale Online, so it's a online shooter game. So there's going to be guns.
Right.
I think it's just because it's the fact that all these guys are teenagers or younger, and they're using guns and shooting each other and shooting enemies in the game. But at the same time, guns are a thing that just exist in damn near every media possible. Like superheroes, for instance. Like there's armies and police officers shooting at the villains, like whether they're normal people with guns or what have you. Basically, gun violence shouldn't be a reason for blacklisting, in my opinion.
You even
Because
said on
it is
the news.
Because it is something that we see everywhere. Like I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I'm saying that other media that is well known and loved also have it.
I feel like what you're trying to say is that it should be more even.
Pretty much, yeah. Sorry, I mind
okay.
blank there.
I guess I have nothing else to add personally to Sword Art Online 2. I remember just disliking this season so much. I was, no. What about you, Murel? Did you watch this Sword Art Online?
I haven't, but I do read it right here. Is that like the players can kill other people in real life by just killing their GGO avatar and stuff. So
Yeah,
so it's basically
it's the exact same premise as Sword Art Online in general.
yeah.
Which the original just didn't have guns; you had swords. which you have to get more violent with to kill, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, it's just like, again, another one that I'm probably going to end up watching as well down the line.
This is just Murel's personal recommendation episode.
Yeah, it basically is. It is.
At this point?
Yes. But like,
Okay.
of what I've heard from it so far is like, yeah, it's pretty gruesome. You can just go on through a game and then like just not get out of it. So because you're actually just dead in real life, right? So.
But I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's so hard. It's Sword Art, you know. I mean, we're not on any Death Note, Attack on Titan level here. We're still at Sword Art, you know.
Yes.
This is mid at best in terms of violence. I wanted to go to this one because I saw it this year and I loved this anime. This one's intense. Basically, it's Parasite, and it revolves around these aliens coming down to Earth, and the article has a perfect word for it: burrow into unsuspecting humans. And what happens here is that one of the main character, the parasite, usually when it takes over a human body, is able to control the entire person's body. But for some reason, when this parasite entered the main character's body, the only part of the body was able to control is one of its hands. And so they kind of start working together, and it is a super intense anime. Rated R for sure. I'm convinced it is. Super violent, extremely gory. Kills are intense. There's kills every episode almost, and I swear it's just one of those animes that left its mark. Literally its mark in terms of violence and everything and bloodshed. What are you guys' thoughts on Parasite? Have you guys seen Parasite?
No, I haven't.
Okay. We'll keep it short and sweet in that case. This one, Murel, I guarantee you will love. I'll just leave it at that. And I understand why it would get blacklisted. To me, in terms of violence, I would say it's somewhere between. It's right below Blood-Sea and Elfen Lied. Like it's right there.
Pretty violent.
It's right there. Yeah, it's maybe a little bit above Attack on Titan. I would put it right there with the
Parasite has been one of those shows that have been on my watch list for a while, and one that I have been curious about. And in recent years, like I want to say maybe 2 years or so ago, we had a live action Parasite movie like come to the actual theaters.
Yeah. Did you hear about the reviews on that one? Because I don't know.
I didn't hear about the reviews. I didn't really pay much attention. I just know that this horrifically bloody, violent anime got a movie that released in major movie theaters. Like that's most that I know.
Right. It's a great one. Parasite live action part 1 in 2014 has pretty good reviews. I don't know if it part 2 probably, yeah? Part 2.
I thought it was like in 2018 because I remember it being there when I was working at the theater.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's multiple different live action versions of it. Okay. I had like one more, maybe 2 more that I wanted to talk about. And then we can maybe start giving our final thoughts here.
Okay, real quick. 2019 is when it came out.
Okay, 2019. Okay, good to know. Okay, Death Note. I mean, this one is for sure going to be on the blacklist. I don't see it in any other way. It's a psychological thriller and supernatural anime. Obviously, if you're like the one person doesn't know about it, Light Yagami, super genius student, finds a magical death note that when you write someone's name in it, they die, and he decides to cleanse the world of all criminals. That's like the one sentence pitch here. I mean, I understand why this one's blacklisted. It's very intense. It's such a good show. I know, Hotshot, you feel differently, but what are you guys' thoughts on it being on the blacklist?
I mean, it makes sense because this one kind of has more of a reasoning to be in my eyes because it implies it caused a controversy in the real world that people went out and got their own death notes,
right?
And some people did actually go insane with it and actually wrote names. But at the same time, it's just like it's just a fucking notebook.
Right, I know what you mean. But at the same time, some people can't make that. It can't stay at that level, you know?
Yeah. Which I do understand, and I do understand the threat, and I do understand you don't know who could break and how much it would take for someone to break. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, to me personally. It's just a notebook.
Yeah, of course, and I am on the same wavelength as you on that one. Murel, you are our resident Death Note superfan. I am hoping.
I've not.
What are your thoughts?
I've only watched like one episode, and that was back when it first came out.
Oh,
Thank you, Murel. You're my hero.
He's your hero, Academia. Eh?
No.
Ah.
Oh.
Don't pair one of my favorite shows. Don't pair one of my favorite shows with yours.
Murel Academia.
Oh my.
I'm having too much
But
fun right
yeah, like I know the whole premise around Death Note. All right.
now. Yeah.
And like it does have a lot of R-rated level of violence and everything else, right? And of course, like the government of China, the Chinese government did ban it for like the profanity, violence, and extreme, like for being too extreme to be viewed in their country, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like of how like many children from around the world who have seen the Death Note, right? Like you said, creating their own Death Notes filled with many of the people that they don't like, right? So, of course, like the world, or at least Chinese government for now, banned this viewing, right?
Right.
Because it could be, it could like show, like, it could bring out like the psychological evil in children and teens who might have family members who have like weapons, and they're like, oh, this is not dealing with it, so I'm going to go deal with it myself, kind of thing, right? So that's just my thought of the take.
Okay, no, I understand. Okay. I mean, I lied when I said I had one more. There's like two here that I maybe want to just touch on very briefly. Tokyo Ghoul, super bloodthirsty, flesh hungry, eating ghouls. I understand why this one's rated R, and I understand why this one would be blacklisted. It's definitely violent, definitely graphic, and I understand why it belongs there. What are your guys' thoughts on the Tokyo Ghoul being on the blacklist?
I mean, it fits under the same category that under the other ones that we've discussed about for violence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, same. It's just all violence, like you said. It's all bloodthirsty violence, flesh hungry people. So
okay. You know what? Since we're at that point where we kind of covered and we kind of know why they're all here, I'm gonna just rapid fire around, name some of these, and you guys just give me your like one sentence thoughts. There's like maybe we might as well just like round it up here. Black Butler. What do you guys think of that anime being on the blacklist?
I got nothing. If I'm being totally honest, I have no reason.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, it's so good though. It's so good.
I haven't seen it
I
either.
just haven't looked at it.
Oh, yo, it's one of those really, really, really good ones. I saw the first season, and it's dark, and it goes hard. And I mean, the main character is very bratty. That's the one thing I really didn't enjoy about it. He kind of has everything worked out for him to a certain extent. Doesn't really have to lift a finger. I haven't seen the second season yet, but for sure a really good anime that you should throw on your pile, Murel. Hotshot, what are your thoughts on Corpse Party being too violent? I think with an anime titled like that, I feel like it's definitely one of those gore-filled animes. If you haven't seen it or if you have seen it, I think we can all agree that it's one of those animes that is known as super violent, so it makes sense for it to be on the blacklist.
I mean, it's named Corpse Party, for instance, and it is based off of a violent murder mystery video game that you have to. If I remember correctly, you have to find the killer. But again, we talked about this in the recommendations episode, I believe. It's one of the ones that is on my list that I have been wanting to check out, be it the game or the anime, but I only know it by name. But with a name titled Corpse Party, that should tell you that it is not going to be pretty.
No, fair enough.
No,
I think you're right on that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it at all. This is the first time I'm hearing of it, so it will be something here because it's like filled with gore, violence, supernatural. Our students in their high school say goodbye to their friend who is moving away and stuff like that.
Exactly. That pretty much covers all the ones we want to talk about. Other ones on the list that weren't mentioned. So yeah, and the last one that we didn't cover also was Devil May Cry, considered too violent. I mean, I don't know anything about this anime. Have you guys heard about this anime?
I mean, I know the game.
Oh, okay. What's the game about, real quick?
A half angel, half demon killing demons.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, if you
And the plot.
do you really not know the game Devil May Cry? Like in general?
No, I really don't. I really don't. That's why I'm asking you. 'Cause
That's
I think
a
this is
nightmare.
more in your
Okay.
court.
Yeah, it's so Dante is exterminating
Okay.
demons with his guns, ebony and ivory, and a giant ass sword. It is incredibly
Okay.
violent, but that's like the worst thing that has going for it. It is just really violent
Right.
because
You know what?
you are cutting and chopping demons in half.
Okay, I see. Now that I think about it, I'm surprised Blood Sea isn't on this article, because that for sure has to be.
Well,
blacklisted.
it's not like these 15 that we've discussed are the only things that are blacklisted in China.
Right.
There's probably at least 100.
Or more.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there could be more.
There's
Okay,
probably more.
let's wrap things up, guys. Let's start with you, Hotshot. Final thoughts on this list and the blacklist.
I can kind of understand why blacklisting is a thing, because if there are things that you want to hide from your people, or things that you think that your country isn't ready for, or that you feel like is too much, like it's kind of like a parent just like negating what you can and can't watch. But when it comes to a higher power doing that, I feel like it's kind of unfair, because these things exist and they are all forms of entertainment at the end of the day. Like, it's up to the parent. They're not really doing any harm. And if they are, then you just don't watch anymore.
Okay. And for you, Murel?
I find this whole article as a Murel recommendation list of stuff that I want to watch.
I knew he was gonna say that.
You can't watch this. I'm going to watch this.
He's
yeah,
gonna watch them all
basically.
at the same time.
Yep. I'll just have like a bunch of TVs, just having them all play on different TVs.
Exactly.
Which I could really do that. But yeah, like overall, like everything on this list is like either gory, psychological, or very, very visually over R-rated, right? So yeah, that's literally just my final thoughts about this.
Thank you guys so much for joining this episode of Anime Podcasters. You can find us at Anime Podcasters on social media. We are also available on every single podcatcher. Just look up at Anime Podcasters. You can go to on ratethispodcast.com/Anime Podcasters to give us a 5-star review. You can leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/Anime Podcasters. Don't forget about our Twitter polls, and take the survey in the description if you have any thoughts you want to share with us. For myself, I'm at JaianMusic on social media, and my website is JaianMusic.com. Freelance audio engineer, anime nerd, making some anime covers and living his life to the fullest. Where can people find you, Hotshot?
You guys can find me on pretty much every social media platform at Hotshot Ginger. You guys can find me here on YouTube for my own podcast, PonsuCast, and hopefully we should actually be getting an episode out to you soon. You guys can find me right here on JaianMusic's channel, co-hosting Anime Podcasters, like always, on Spotify, Podcasters, and you guys can find me over on Twitter, where I do nothing but ghost you.
Perfect. And Murel?
You can find me basically on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, even Reddit. All of the links will be in the description below, because sometimes I change my name. Sometimes it's always Murel or something else, right? So yeah, that's what it.
King Murmur.
King Murmur.
And of course, the artwork for Anime Podcasters is provided by GoProKyo, so go follow him on Twitter at GoProKyo. For myself, Hotshot, and Murel, this has been another episode of
Anime Podcasters.
Anime Podcasters.
Anime Podcasters.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye.